Welcome, everyone, to another podcast sensation. Here, I just saw on the news today, and I had said this from the beginning when the coronavirus came out, and I'm not a doctor or a medical professional, not even nowhere close, but this is what I said to my wife. I said, okay, here's what I think is going to happen. I don't think that this virus is going to be nearly as deadly as they're saying it is, because it's hitting our most vulnerable people, the elderly, the people over 65, the people that have underlying conditions. And a study come out today on Fox News, I saw it, where the governor, they started testing the people that were going to the grocery stores for antibodies. And with the numbers that they got back on the testing of the people that had it, that probably didn't even know they had it, it's going to be, it looks to be, if it stays on course, to be about half as deadly as the flu. So you're telling me that we took an economy that was the greatest economy in the history of man, and because of the fears that the president had, he tanks the economy because of a virus, when we could have adopted something more on the lines of the Sweden model, where we protect the vulnerable people when we first realized that it was hitting your elderly and underlying condition people, and kept the country open. Here's what I said. This is not over. There's going to be another virus. There's going to be another this is not even a pandemic. We lost estimated about 68,000 people this year. Or between October of last year until April of this year, of around 68,000 people. They estimate, the CDC estimates around 24,000 to 68,000 people were lost. So you're telling me that we're still willing, even after this data, that this virus has a 0.5% mortality rate if the numbers stay where they are, and we're going to keep the country locked down. And I told my wife, I said, we're not doing bad. Okay, you're an essential worker. I can work from home on certain things, but it's really affected my business because of people not having jobs. But that's for another story. But there are people that can't even put food on the table because they don't have a job, because the government tanks the economy to try to protect its citizens from this virus. Yeah, first time I think this has ever happened outside the Spanish flu, but it killed 50 million people worldwide. This is nowhere near that. So, and where does it end? Well, there's going to be another one, especially since they know how Trump will react to this one. And I am a big Trump supporter. But I'm telling you, this is my opinion, and you can take it for what it's worth. He fucked up when he shut this economy down. And he listened to those damn Democratic medical professionals that he's got on his staff. I don't know how many times people have to shake his hand and smile at him and then try to stab him in the back. These people want him out of office, and this is making them extremely happy. And I'm not talking about the medical advisors that he has is making them happy, but the Democrats, it's making them happy. Now, the medical providers, or the staff that he has, or the Corona Task Force, it seems to me, have been wrong. Every single step. This model was wrong. This model was wrong. This model. Well, now we got a model that's more in line. Well, how many damn models do you have to have? Why don't they just call it what it is? It's a fucking guess. They're just guessing. They're taking the data and they're just trying to predict what this is going to do. It's a fucking guess, people. These people don't know. It's much like climate change in the 80s. Oh, Miami will be underwater if we don't do something about global warming, because our model says so. And Como, that dipshit, he's sitting there telling people, if you want to go back to work, be an essential employee. Yeah. This is bad. And we have a issue with civil liberties here, to where, folks, we're losing our civil liberties all in the name of a virus that's going to turn out, and I'm predicting here, so you've heard it here first, it's going to be half as bad as the flu. Half as deadly as the flu. Now, do we want anybody to die? No. But let me tell you something. What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to shut the economy down because you have a group of people that's treated their body like a damn old honky-tonk for fucking years and hasn't had any indication or any desire to be healthy at all, and then all of a sudden this comes along and takes them out, and we're supposed to be shut the economy down for those people? Whose fault is it that these people have underlying conditions? And I'm going to just be honest. I'm in that category. I'm about 50 pounds overweight. I take high blood pressure medication. Whose fault is it that I'm fat, that I've gained this weight? Me. Not the government, not the people, not anybody else. If you're fat and you're overweight and you're vulnerable and you have underlying conditions, unless it's genetic, most of the time this is self-inflicted. So, sometimes you have to pay a price for the way you live. And like I said, I'm in that category. I'm in the process, and I've lost probably 10 or 15 pounds so far, and I'm trying to get myself back in shape to where I need to be. But, this has been a wake-up call for myself as well. You can't sit behind a desk and eat and drink and do all those things and not have underlying conditions. And I told my doctor I want to get off this damn high blood pressure medication because I don't like being on it. But that's the only thing that I have. But here's the thing. This is not about me. This is about the fact that if you live your life a certain way and then a virus comes along, you can't expect 94% of the population to suffer because you may die from an underlying illness because if you get this virus. What you should do is, if you're vulnerable, stay at home and quarantine yourself until this is over with. But the economy should have stayed open. And that's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. I just think you're going to find out this damn thing is not as deadly as what people think. And they're already starting to move that way. And now you got protest in Michigan and all these other places. My wife she snorted at me this morning and basically said, you're not taking it as serious as I think you should. Well, let me just tell you this. No, I take it serious. Yeah. I just don't think that we're Americans. The massive doesn't sacrifice itself for the few. And you want everybody to be taken care of. But when you put this propaganda out there that this is 10 times more deadly, that's what they said at first, 10 times. It could kill 1.2 to 2 million people in America. Well, you've just instilled panic and fear in every single individual. And the way I said it, and I posted on Facebook, we need to get back to work. And if this virus kills me and I get it and I die, well, I guess it's just, God has just seen fit that I've lived long enough. And the bottom line, it's be like when I was a police officer and there's a shooting and I have to go. And I remember one time that I had to go to a trailer where the guy was armed and I was there by myself and took him into custody and actually disarmed his ass. But the point being is this. Oh, no, I can't. What am I supposed to do? Turn around because I might get hurt? No. You do what you have to do. You keep the economy open and you do your best to handle the pandemic or the outbreak. I'd really call it an outbreak because I don't think this is a pandemic. So, my 2 cents. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, folks. And like I said, I'm a big supporter of Trump and I'm going to vote for him again. But if what I read was correct and him being kind of a germaphobe, I think that they basically took that information and when this hit, they pounced on it and he bit. Now, they were saying on Fox today that they might have could have taken the Sweden model. Swedish people stayed at work, said, we'll protect our vulnerable, but we're going to keep the country open. And that's what they should have done. I mean, you can't. I mean, people are going to lose their homes, their livelihoods, and that's what I told my wife. I said, you don't understand. People are going to not only lose their homes, they're going to lose their livelihoods. They've lost their jobs. All for what? A virus that's going to end up being half as bad as the flu, a flu that we have a vaccine on that's killed between, like I said, 24,000 to 68,000 people this year. So, I mean, what are we supposed to do? What about when the next wave of this shit comes out? I think the governor of Georgia did the right thing. I think he did the only thing he could do. He reopened the damn state. And I think that's what Tate Reeves should do here in Mississippi. But no, they're going to follow the president's recommendations. You know, I like him too. But that doesn't mean he's always right. And this has gotten under my craw because it's affected my business. And I think that I'm not alone with this. You know, am I going to vote for him? Hell yeah, I'd rather have him in there than Joe Biden. And I think he's an excellent president if you just don't have a damn pandemic going on. So, I don't know. I think it looks grim for a lot of folks. And if you hear an echo, I just got my podcast studio set up in another part of the house, and so we're in the process of getting it finished up. So I apologize if there's an echo. But like I said, I'm just anxious to see where all this is going to end up. And I don't mean to rant just on the virus, but, you know, and then like I said yesterday on yesterday's show, when it come to AOC and her talking about that you shouldn't go back to work, even if we reopen the country, because of the panic that has set in with people. And I watch them every day wearing these damn masks. Now, here's another thing that gets under my damn skin. Okay, they tell you that the mask only protects other people from you coughing or breathing on them. It doesn't protect you from inhaling the virus because it'll come through that mask. And then they tell you don't touch your face because and wash your hands frequently. Don't touch your face because if you touch your face, then it gets on your hands, and then that's how you contract it too. Okay, so we tell people to wear a mask that doesn't protect them, only protects the other person. And then we tell people don't touch their face, but we ask them to wear a mask that makes them constantly touch their damn face to pull the mask down to talk, like you saw in Congress. So what we have here is an oxymoron. How about this? How about we just hope that we create antibodies that kill this virus? Because it's apparent to me that the masks don't work. And if you're a healthcare provider, yes, of course it does. You don't want to cough on the patient or get the patient sick, and they're constantly changing out those masks. If you're wearing a pair of damn gloves and a mask that you've had on all day that's got it all over, and maybe you got the coronavirus all over the damn thing, and you're constantly touching the mask and constantly touching your face, well, that seems to me to be counterproductive, don't you think? It seems to me that you might contract it just by the fact of touching your damn face. Social distancing. I'm going to go get tested to see if I've had it. I am. Because I just want to know. And not to mention, I just don't think that... I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be unless you have an underlying condition. And if you do, stay at home. Forget the mask. Stay at home. Let the people that your family go out and get your stuff for you, food and whatever. But they did that study in New York, and it just infuriated me. I was hoping I was going to be wrong, and I said this a month ago. I said it's not going to be as bad as they're making it out to be. I said I just don't see it. I mean, they're already saying that it's hitting people above 65 and the elderly and the vulnerable. Turns out I was right. Turns out from their own study, I was right. And I don't want to be right because this is going to have a drastic effect if we ever do have a serious threat. Because once the American people find out that this was not as bad as what people thought it was, and if it comes out, and if those figures stay the same, and let me tell you, they'll hide that too. But if it turns out that this virus was not as bad as they originally thought, and it went from 10 times as deadly as the flu to half as deadly as the flu, and the flu has a vaccine, if we ever do have a true 1918 Spanish flu pandemic like we had back then that killed 50 million people worldwide, the people won't listen. It's kind of like crying wolf. They should have done all this testing first. And then if they found out that it was 10 times deadlier, then you do that. But they tried to preempt, and it was a mistake. So, congratulations, people of the government. You've successfully tanked the best economy we've ever had, and you've successfully displaced millions of people. And you've successfully caused people to lose everything they have. Millions of them. And you've given a foothold to these morons that are socialist. To say, see, now we can do it for you. Which is a lie. Folks, we need to get the fuck back to work. Period. Now, do your own research. Don't rely on my opinion. It's just my damn opinion. And I'm not a medical professional. And if you don't like my opinion, well, leave me a comment. I won't take it down. Really don't give a shit. Because I'm a little upset this morning that I've watched these models just start petering out. Models. How about they just say guesses? That'd be more appropriate, don't you think? Sounds more sexy to say, well, the model says. Well, the model says this. But when we put more data in the model, well, it's no longer as deadly as we thought. Well, great. Good for you. So we're spending millions upon millions of dollars on scientists to guess. Golf clap. Well, that just concludes my show for today. And like I said, hey, if you like my opinion, tell me. If you don't, tell me that too. It's what this show is all about. I think my next story will be on Bigfoot or something. I don't know. We'll talk about something like that on the next show. I'm about to get really, really sick of this crap. Because I really do feel for people, folks. I do. And not for myself. I mean, me and my wife, we're okay. You know, I've got 5 acres here. I can walk around and jog around or get on my tractor and do whatever. Some people are not like that. Some people are stuck in their homes. That's 600 square foot, which is awful. So let's get back to work. Call your congressman and representative and tell them to get off their ass, and we need to get back to work because it's affecting all of our businesses. My business is not an essential business. And don't ever use the word the new normal. All that is a cloak for you've lost your civil liberties. There is no new normal. Let's get back to the way Americans live. Free and determined. And that's my take on it. God bless you all.